Have you ever looked up at a city skyline, seen all those cranes and brand new buildings, and still thought to yourself, why is it so ridiculously hard to find a great place to live? Well, today, we're going to unpack that exact puzzle in the world of real estate, and a really disruptive idea that might just be the solution.
Just take a look at this. All across India, there is a massive construction boom. Developers are building at a wild pace. But, and here's the crazy part, at the very same time, there's this huge stockpile of unsold, vacant homes just sitting there, empty.
And that really brings us to the core question of this whole explainer. With all this new supply, why does the market feel so broken? Why is just finding a place still such a complex and, let's be honest, frustrating process for so many of us?
So to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to peel back the layers of India's real estate market. And as you're about to see, the problem goes way, way deeper than just simple supply and demand.
Okay, so the source material really breaks it down for us. For starters, unlike a car or a phone, no two properties are exactly alike. The technical term is heterogeneous. This just makes everything more complicated from the get-go. On top of that, the whole system is supposed to run on trust between all these different people, but that trust is often fragile, to say the least. Then you have the transactions themselves, which are notoriously complex. And let's not forget, for most people, this is the single biggest financial decision they will ever make.
So you've got this broken, complicated market. But at the exact same time, there's this huge cultural shift happening. And it's a shift that's changing not just where we want to live, but more importantly, how we want to live. And wow, this quote from the source just nails it. We're moving from a world where everyone's goal was to own things to a world where people value having access to experiences. Think about it. We subscribe to music and movies now instead of buying CDs. For a whole new generation, the burden of ownership is starting to feel a lot more like a liability.
And this isn't just happening in a bubble. We've seen this exact pattern in other industries. Just look at hospitality. This timeline shows how we went from these massive, one-size-fits-all luxury hotels way back when to the super niche boutique places we have today that offer these incredibly personalized and unique experiences.
And it's not just travel either. We see the exact same thing with how we work. We've gone from the classic 9-to-5 office to home offices to these vibrant co-working spaces. And of course, the huge shift to remote work has just put that trend on hyperdrive, completely untethering people from a single location.
Okay. So what happens when these two massive forces collide? You've got a broken real estate market on one side and this huge cultural shift towards access and community on the other. Well, that collision is exactly what gives birth to this new concept, #multiliving.
Now, the source defines #multiliving as not just a place to stay, but as a totally new type of lifestyle product. You could think of it as an evolution of co-living, but way broader. It's designed from the ground up to be social, to be community-focused. It integrates where you live, where you work, and how you connect. The whole idea is to create experiences, not just rent you a roof over your head. And this is what that looks like in the real world. The idea is you can take almost any kind of property, an apartment, a villa, you name it, and completely transform it into a professionally managed, vibrant living space, where everything from the furniture to the events is curated for a modern lifestyle.
The difference is just night and day. Traditional real estate is all about ownership, right? Which means you're locked in financially for the long term in a pretty static, private space. #multiliving completely flips that script. It's all about access, offering flexible terms for how long you stay, all inside these dynamic, shared spaces that are actually designed for you to interact with other people.
So who is this actually for? Well, it's pretty much purpose-built for the #gig economy, the very same people who are driving that evolution of work we just talked about. We're talking digital natives, freelancers, and remote workers, folks who value mobility, community, and technology more than anything else.
So how does this amazing transformation actually happen? What does it really take to turn a standard, empty apartment into one of these dynamic hubs? Well, as we'll see, it's a very intentional, step-by-step process.
It all kicks off with a super detailed inspection, where they're looking for hidden potential in every single corner. Then comes ideation, where designers just totally reimagine the space with a fresh design language. After that, it's incorporation. That's the physical work of modifying the building and adding all the modern amenities. But, and this is crucial, it doesn't stop there. The final step, improvisation, is all about constantly listening to residents and tweaking the experience to make it even better.
And what you get is a space that caters to pretty much every part of modern life.
For your personal space, you could have anything from an affordable capsule bed to a private room. For work, there are dedicated pods and hot desks. And for connecting with people, you've got lounges, open kitchens, and diners. It's a whole ecosystem all under one roof.
So at the end of the day, these really aren't just apartment buildings. They are intentionally designed community hubs. They blur the lines between living, working, and socializing in a way that traditional real estate just can't.
Okay, this all sounds fantastic as a lifestyle concept, but how does it actually work as a business? How do you take those super risky empty properties we talked about at the beginning and turn them into something that's actually a viable investment?
Well, the source document calls the secret sauce wholesale risk management. It's a financial model that's specifically designed to take the huge risk out of real estate for both the property owners and the investors. Here's the core idea, and it's pretty smart. Instead of one person trying to juggle all the different kinds of risk, the model just divides them up. Think of it like a relay race. The property owner handles the legal baton. Then a group of retail investors handles the financial part. A facilities company manages the day-to-day operations, and a pro-leasing company focuses only on keeping the property full. Each specialist just handles their part of the race, which makes the whole thing way less risky for everybody involved.
So you go from a situation where one single vacant property is carrying all of this risk on its own to a totally new model. By breaking up the risk and spreading it across a huge portfolio of different properties, the entire system becomes so much more stable. And that makes it a much safer bet for property owners and a way more attractive option for investors who are looking for reliable returns.
And this right here really gets to the absolute heart of it. The hashtag multi-living model fundamentally redefines what real estate even is. It's not just about selling or renting square footage anymore, it's about delivering a complete service for an entirely new way of living.
Which leaves us with one final pretty big question. As we move deeper into this century, maybe the true measure of wealth and freedom in housing won't be about what you own, but about the quality and the variety of what you can access. Definitely something to think about.